All right, welcome to Coffee Break. My name is Willie Lawson, and I am really excited that you're tuning in today. We've got lots to talk about. My friend Paul will be on in a moment. This is Coffee Break with Willie and Paul, or Paul and Willie. However, whichever way makes you the happiest, because that's what we're here to do. We're here to make you happy. We're here to make you feel good. We're here to give you stuff to talk about and say it in a way that's non-threatening and loving and caring. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to make you happy. Are you happy? Yeah, good. I'm glad. Anyway, my friend Paul will be on in a minute. Lots going on. We missed last week, but lots going on this week. The Republican National Convention is this week, and it has been, frankly, I think it's been not nearly as adventuresome as the media would want you to believe it was going to be. It's been pretty much dull. It's been pretty much like I said it would be. It would be pretty dull. Not much really going on. Let's see if I can get Paul on here. Hang on a second, and he's calling in. Hey, fantastic! It's good. Let me pull Paul on the. There you are now. Now everybody can hear you. I'm figuring this out, man. This whole thing.
Uh-oh.
No. Yeah. Watch me.
No, hold my beer. Watch this.
Yeah, famous last words. Yeah, put those words on the tombstone because no, watch this. No. Actually, I'm figuring out a way possibly that we could have some screening capabilities as well. This is actually going to be okay. This is your idea, and we're making this work.
Okay. Yes.
No, it was your idea.
No. This is a good teaching point for everybody who's listening. Yes, I will take responsibility. Yes, it was my idea. So, yep. Whatever happens, I was the one who said, "Hey, let's try this."
Well, yeah, and because I had tried some of this technology and had failed. And had just given up on it, and I thought, this is too hard. I don't understand any of this, and nobody will help me. So I just said, screw it. So, but you figured it out, and I'm just like Apple. I'm just gonna make it elegant.
That's right.
That's what Apple does. Everybody else figures it out, and then Apple just makes it pretty. I'll just make it pretty. But I figured out we have a system when we change the Skype call-in to maybe a Skype call-in number that we can actually have a screening capability. So it's very cool.
That would be nice. We would love to hear from our listeners.
Yes. And we're gonna work that out as time goes on, and there's an easy way to bring in clips, and we're gonna bring in some clips from the Fat Man's speech last night. We talk a little bit about that because like we talked about off air, all I was expecting when he left the stage was to do a John Belushi cartwheel off the stage. That would have brought the queue to its knees. That would have been awesome. That's all he had to do. I was like, yeah. And it would have been
that'd have been the ice cream on the cake, right?
Yeah. It would have been sort of reminiscent of when in '76 when Gerald Ford called Ronald Reagan up on the stage, and everybody in the place went, "Oh crap! I think we nominated the wrong dude."
Yeah,
that would have stole the show. It was like, "Oh, can we vote again?" That dude just did a cartwheel off the stage. I want him. It was fabulous. And it really, last night, I think, Paul, it really sort of buried anything that we talked about yesterday afternoon and you did some research because you're a smart guy and you do research and stuff. You look crap up. It's true. You do all that stuff.
Thank God for Google. And yes, thank you. I appreciate that. And I don't know if I want to admit this or not, but yes, having been trained as a journalist, yes, you look stuff up, you research stuff.
Well, you look stuff up, and you found out,
and you look for more than you look for, especially in this day and age. When I went through journalism school and everything, this was a fledgling industry, if that, and gosh, I had to go through the Reader's Guide to Periodical Indexes and stuff.
Books.
Yeah. Actually had
paper.
Actually had to go to the library. Oh my God.
Yeah, you were happy when microfiche came along. You were thrilled.
Oh well, yeah. You get to hear that thing go zzz, as you started looking for stuff, and but yeah, and I found a couple of reputable sources that in this day and age, we have to take a grain of salt with everything that we see on anywhere, Facebook, WikiLeaks, Pinterest, whatever, that supposedly, has some merit to it. There's something, there are, and I'm sure you're this way too. There are sources which we both feel are impeccable, and they do their research, and we will rely on their research.
Yes, my two favorite are InfoWorld and WorldNet Daily. Those are my go-to sources for almost everything.
But yeah, and then there's the folks who are for lack of a better idea are out there in the weeds. They're not quite as far remote as I am, but I can see them from here.
Yeah, I feel you.
So yeah, I mean, I got a couple of things from, where did I get this one? The one is, and the left folks should just love this, is, the one is from NPR.
Oh.
And the DNC, so, I mean, hey, what more impeccable source could there be than that?
InfoWorld or WorldNet Daily.
And the other one is one that I'm not very familiar, but Google throws up the first thing that comes up, and so this other one is from News 24. The other thing that I was interested in, and I didn't see this, of course, I didn't have enough time to really do an exhaustive search, and maybe I don't know if you looked at all or not. I mean, I know I sent you these, but I know somebody did a mashup of the two. The presumptive first lady and the current first lady side by side, but I really wanted to look at the actual text. You can edit things to a nth degree and make things sound whatever you want to have them sound like. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to actually look at the text, and yes, it's we're looking at minutia in the larger scheme of things.
Well, yeah, that was kind of my point. When this thing exploded, I actually posted, like, of all the speeches on Monday night, this is the one that caught your attention, and the 26 words apparently that were pulled from that may have been pulled from Michelle Obama's speech in 2008 are the 26 words that were the most important things said tonight. That set the whole tone for you. I was like, you've got to freaking be kidding me. There are slim pickings here. You got nothing. When that is your major focus over the whole day, and especially Monday after so much went on after the battle for rules are always a battle at conventions. I'm sorry, there is nothing dysfunctional about the convention when there's a fight about rules, because rules are always going to be contentious, and we'll find out if you watch the right feeds next week in Philadelphia. They will have similar back and forth about rules, because rules are always contentious. Even in our own REC here in town, which I am a member of, when we start talking about rules, it's contentious. It always is. So there's nothing dysfunctional like the media, like mainstream media would have you believe about this battle on the floor about rules. They're out of control. They're eating each other. No, no. First of all, none of that was happening. It was typical, and there will be in that setting people yelling and screaming at each other across the whole queue. Yes, that happens, but it happens at every convention, and it doesn't mean it's dysfunctional. With all that going on, the internet chose to, and CNN chose to concentrate on 26 words from Melania Trump's speech. That tells me something. You got nothing. You couldn't.
Yeah, and somebody had to be doing a Nexus search or something like that to try to find Michelle Obama's speech from 2008. So we're talking about 8 years ago. I don't think anybody in this day and age is that astute to go, gosh, I remember Michelle said that. Or something like that, and then went to somebody had to they've got some intern there running a Nexus search of what they pre-leaked or they gave as her speech so that they could print this for us, nice folks that they are.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, but and it is, and I've seen it. To go back to your initial thing, rules. That's a whole. We could do a whole week on rules.
Oh yeah.
It is always contentious. There's a lot of background that the press is not reporting about the rules, not only for the RNC, but we'll never hear about it from the DNC. So that's neither here nor there. The other thing, and I was talking with somebody, somebody made a comment, and you might have seen it too, regarding this, that it was on either my post or your post, that, there's really nothing new under the sun, I'm paraphrasing, essentially, that, everything that's written has been already written, and we're just pulling, the bits and pieces and kind of recrafting it into our own, story or our own narrative, if you will. And that brought me back to working in Iceland, as a journalist there, and the stories we would do. There was only really one or two germane stories. It was just, the names were changed to protect the innocent or guilty, if you will. It was just, there was a promotion story. There's one promotion story. So-and-so got promoted on this date, and you it's a template. You can fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
And the speechwriters like these are pretty much, I would say, given with today's technology, it's pretty much the same thing. There's not, I don't want to denigrate anybody too badly, but I really think and feel in reading that there are few, if any, new and or original thoughts being touted out there.
Well, and here's the deal. Whenever you have these sort of events, and the wife of the candidate or the husband of the candidate or the children of the candidate show up on the stage, it's going to be a lot of the same stuff. You know what? So Melania Trump talking about how great her parents were and her upbringing was going to be a similar story to anybody.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so who all the words were pretty generic. Yeah. I'm like, and I personally, I told my wife to listen. I started to listen to Melania's speech, and then I said, you know what? She's not going to say anything that interesting, and I can't fight through that. I just can't fight through that accent because I don't want to. So
yeah, exactly.
I started playing a video game on my phone while she was on, and I was just looking at the LED on the screen, going, "Oh, I think she's done. I better say something." But you know what? I wasn't I mean, it was, first of all, it wasn't that interesting. Donald Jr. last night, and even Tiffany was a lot more interesting. Same sort of deal, though. Same sort of heartfelt deal. My dad's a great guy, and blah blah blah, and cares about people, and
lots of platitudes.
No one's going to say, "Oh,
yeah.
you know what? My dad's a douchebag." By the way, huh? You ought to be president, but he's really kind of a dick. I mean, you aren't going to hear anything like that. So again, a lot of platitudes. So I don't. It sort of crystallized to me, Paul, that that the left has nothing. They got nothing. Zero.
Yeah, if you've got to drill down to
that,
to look and find the third or fourth paragraph in her speech, to say, oh gosh, and she was short. I mean, she was. I printed. There's 3 pages of Millennia's, and there's like 8 pages of Michelle. She got really winded.
Well, that's
from the Windy City. That's okay.
that's who they are. But Melania was fairly short, and I'm glad because I'm sorry. That's been his wife for 18 years. That's great, but that accent was just too much for me personally. I guess I'm a xenophobe. It was just too much to fight through. I was like, it sounds like. It sounds like Ava Gabor, and I'm just don't want to hear Ava Gabor from Green Acres talk for that long. I just don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear her and Jaja have a conversation. I don't want to hear that.
No. We have better things to do.
I did. I played Real Racing 3 on my phone while it was going on.
Yeah, given all the other things that are going on in the world today, and like you said, given what had occurred over the weekend and what occurred yesterday, and this is the main news story for today,
this is all you
past
got?
Couple of days. Ooh, boy, some people need to go back to journalism school.
Well, but you know what? I think because you're the journalism guy. I'm a saxophone player. I went to music school, but I think that this is the kind of stuff that they learn now in journalism school, because journalism school isn't about the story; it's about the agenda. And you could tell, by by their fruit. You can tell by the end product of most of their work. It's about the agenda over reality. It's about agenda over importance. It's an agenda over everything, and the agenda is
it's about the feelings. It's about people's feelings,
and the agenda
not about
is to destroy.
Who, what, where, when, why, or how.
Don't care about that. It doesn't matter. You don't understand. That's not the important part. The important part is how people feel. You see, and how people. I mean, you can tell by how they ask questions. You can tell by all sorts of things. When I mentioned when I was doing my other show on Blog Talk Radio early on in 2008, people would call up and say, "Why don't you like President Obama? Why don't you like Obama?" And I said, "Like? I don't know him to like him. I don't dislike him. I don't even know the guy. But I listen to people's words and the verbiage they use. Like is, what, I'm supposed to like him as a person. We're supposed to be friends. I'm supposed to be able to identify with him. How can I identify with somebody I've never even met? I don't know. But that's the whole thing. That's the whole feelings thing. He makes you feel good. You like him. Well, you know what? I might like him. We might, and I tell people now, and drive my libertarian friends right up the wall. Go, if I got an invitation this March to go watch basketball with the president at the White House, I'm down. If I have to drive my 1990 Lincoln Town Car with the window on the driver's side that won't close all the way to D.C., I'm down. I don't care. I am down. I'm taking selfies. I'm putting on Instagram that I am watching the Final Four in the White House with President Obama. I'm down. That's all there is to it. And you can be mad with me. People can be mad at me forever. I don't care. So I don't know if I like the guy or not. I don't know him, but it's not important that I like him. It's important that I believe that he can do the job that he's been tasked to do. So the media is all about
and there's the hiccup in the whole thing.
I know. Sorry, everybody. I still pay attention to that crap. Sorry.
Yep, we do. Yes, we do. Yes,
you know what?
We do.
I don't know, frankly, if I like Donald Trump. Donald Trump's kind of a douchebag, frankly. He is.
Well, the same criteria goes, here.
But can he do
I don't know Obama. The only experience I have to Donald Trump is having seen him in passing on, some television shows, and then of course the wall-to-wall news coverage that's occurred over the last 8 or 9 months. But yeah,
Donald Trump all day, all the time.
Yeah, and it's so yeah. Hey, let's go have a beer. Sure, maybe I like the guy, maybe I won't.
Yeah, exactly.
But
if he invites me to Trump Plaza to hang out with him, I'm down. If I have to drive that same car all the way from Tampa to New York with the window open, I'm down. I got a couple of 5-gallon jugs of oil in the back seat. I'm going.
There you go.
We're going. Let's roll.
Although I did hear a great visual of and this is current with what's going on in the world as far as our culture. Donald Trump now being the Republican nominee, and former mayor of London Boris Johnson now being the foreign secretary. He said, "Can you imagine the two of them having a state meeting on a windy day?"
all that hair everywhere. Good God!
There's not enough hair gel or hairspray in the world to keep all that stuff in check.
Yeah, Aquanet everywhere.
That was just I heard
That's
that and
funny.
I thought, oh, there's a great visual for somebody.
Oh my God! Are they in there? All that hair's flying. Are they even in there? I think they just sent their hair out. They're actually inside. Last night, we alluded to it a little earlier ago. Last night, I think the level of speeches increased 100-fold. I was disappointed, and I wasn't disappointed in Melania Trump. It was going to be what it was going to be. I was kind of disappointed in Lieutenant General Mike Flynn. He seemed very clumsy. But maybe this is not what he does, that level. And I expected a little bit more from Joni Ernst. I didn't think she was that good either. She was clumsy in the same way, but that wasn't the deal last night. Everybody brought the fire. Even the chick, who a lot of people didn't know, but because I watched The Young and the Restless, I started watching it in college, and we still watch it in my house. We tape it, and we watch it. I still watch it. And the guys who watch Young and Restless like it because of a character named Victor Newman, because Victor Newman is the great evil, and we love Victor. I started watching it in college because we were broke. It was cheaper than going to the movies, and I still watch it after all these years. This chick was on Young and the Restless as a character, and now she's a farmer. Pistachio farmer or some such thing. Even she brought fire last night. Let's go ahead and hear if I can figure this out. And I'm really proud of it. I think I've done a good job with this whole Spreaker broadcast thing, ideally, and making it work and actually sounding somewhat professional, or at least not sucking. How about that?
There we go.
We don't want to suck here. So let's go ahead and see if I can. Oops, and I think I just brought down the internet. Hang on a second. This is the Fat Man. Yeah, exactly. Especially when you bring it down for like the entire East Coast of America. All right, let's see. This is we're gonna get we're gonna play a few minutes of the Fat Man's speech.
As a failure for ruining Libya and creating a nest for terrorist activity by ISIS, answer me now: is she guilty or not guilty? In Nigeria, Hillary Clinton amazingly fought for 2 years to keep an Al-Qaeda affiliate off of the terrorist watch list. Now, what happened because of this reckless action by the candidate who is the self-proclaimed champion of women all around the world? These Al-Qaeda terrorists abducted hundreds of innocent young women 2 years ago. These schoolgirls are still missing today. And what was the solution? Clinton team? A hashtag campaign. So now let's figure it out. Let's decide. Hillary Clinton, as an apologist for an Al-Qaeda affiliate in Nigeria, resulting in the capture of innocent young women, is she guilty or not guilty? See, she fights for the wrong people. She never fights for us. She doesn't get the real threats that America faces. So now let's go to China. In China, Hillary Clinton praised the Chinese government for buying our debt to finance Barack Obama's promoted stimulus plan. Chinese cash, she promised the Buy American provision in the stimulus bill in exchange for the cash to finance a huge expansion of federal government spending. So, Hillary Clinton, putting big government spending financed by the Chinese ahead of good-paying jobs for middle-class Americans, is she guilty or not guilty?
And that was some of the biggest responses of the entire convention. I've got Chris in my ear. There you go. That was some of the biggest responses from the crowd in 2 days. He had them eating out of the palm of his hand. Somebody on the radio described it this morning as him just tossing out red meat to
that was
to a hungry crowd who was looking for something to get somebody or something to get behind. Especially after the exhaustive rules thing and everything else that went down, and apparently Alaska couldn't figure out how to calculate their votes. Their delegates vote yesterday, but it was.
Let's hope they didn't have to take off their shoes and socks in order to count.
Well, they don't have any toes because they're from Alaska. Frostbite got rid of. Nobody from Alaska delegation has any toes. There you go. Take off your shoes. Okay, 1, 2, done. But it seemed to just fire up everybody else, because you had to go out there and maintain that level of intensity that Christie brought, and finally somebody was turned the guns away from each other outward finally, and this, I think this was the first time in the convention, and maybe the first time in this campaign, where Republicans actually turned the guns away from each other for just a little bit outward to Hillary Clinton.
Well, go back to Marcus Luttrell and his the other gentleman who was with him, and I forget who it was, but they walked up and no teleprompter, no crib notes, no nothing, and they just spoke from the heart.
Yeah,
and I think that that really got everybody. That brought the focus, back around to where it should be. And that was good. Now, if we can get the professional speakers out of there, and I don't think that's going to happen, but one can only hope. We get some people who can actually speak to some substantive issues. That's going to be what is going to really, they keep talking about unity. Well, if you want unity, then you've got to speak to the substantive issues that people are really concerned about.
Well, you have to do that, but I think Paul, you also have to balance this. What I always look at these conventions as more pep rallies than anything else. Because when
Well,
you
yeah,
because when you
there's that
leave,
point. And how much? Yeah, what do you do? 60-40, 30-70. What?
because when you
what
leave, you
portion
got to
of it?
have these people who are a lot of the leaders of the party. They've got to go back and take that very same energy and fire and energize all the organizations that they came from around the country. They've got to go back and bring the fire to their organizations to get people out to do all the grunt work, to knock on doors, to donate, to do sign waving and all the stuff that local organizations do. And you got to be excited about it because I'm sorry, most people don't get excited about policy wonks. They just don't. Now, I understand the importance of policy. Please understand me, but the idea is that most of those discussions don't get people out of their seats and off the couch to go knock on doors. We're talking about Republicans. We're not talking about people who go knock on doors and spend Saturdays calling people who work for Americans for Prosperity. It's a different kind of energy there. And Americans for Prosperity in Florida is, in the words of Donald Trump, huge. It's huge. A lot of people are volunteer for them. Our good friend Dwayne Lester does work with them and does training with them. But that's frankly a different kind of person. That's a person who understands the nuts and bolts of this whole thing and gets excited about it. Gets excited enough to do something. Frankly, most of the Republicans who are there in the queue in Cleveland, who are wearing hats that have an elephant on it, and the trunk lights up. That's the kind of I love the hats.
There's a great visual for you.
I love the hats, man. I do. I am a fan of all the hats and the buttons and the crap. I love all that stuff. It makes me smile when I see it.
Like you couldn't figure out where the Texas delegation was sitting.
Yeah. Is every cowboy hat in the world right there.
Every straw cowboy hat in the country or in Cleveland.
There's $100,000 worth of cowboy hats right there. These weren't some cheap imitation crap. This was a real deal.
They brought them from home. So
yeah,
I'm sure.
This is a real deal. $100,000 in cowboy hats in that delegation. So I love that stuff. I do. But you see, but you're dealing with a whole different kind of thing, and your deal is that you only get this weak shot at it, so they've got to go off and fire up the rest of the folks. They've got to get out there and come back with that energy, and we're expecting. I think our meeting is the 20th. Our meeting is next month. That our delegation will come back to our meeting, and I know the expectation will be that they will be slamming on the table, and they'll be fired up, and their job, they feel, is to get everybody else fired up too. So there's got to be that balance. It can't be a big a week of policy discussions, which are important, no doubt. But you got to have a little fire. You got to bring a little steam to this thing, and I think that you got to have some of that. And because it's a convention, people are there to have fun and get fired up. They can read policy papers on their own. They won't, but they could. What? What? Am I wrong?
No, not at all.
Okay. I thought I said something wrong. You started laughing.
Oh no.
Okay.
We just speak the truth here.
I'm just saying. Like I said, I'm just saying. They could. They're not going to. Ever. Let me help you. Not this time, but ever. I tell you what. I even give bonus points to Paul Ryan. Now, Paul Ryan's colon must have slammed shut, knowing that he had to go do what he had to go do last night. It must have slammed shut. He probably hasn't taken a crap in a week. I think it was on his face when he had to announce that the delegate count for Donald Trump was 1,725. It wasn't even close. And that was his job to announce to the crowd. And he had to smile. That had to be tough for Paul, don't you think?
Oh, well, definitely. I mean, he's got enough other issues up here in the state to to worry about without having to go do that unpleasant work.
And for him, because he didn't want to do. Come on now, he didn't want to do it.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, he's got, do I stay here in Wisconsin and try to salvage his campaign, from because he's been being campaigned against. He's got a very formidable opponent to unseat him down in the 1st District. And, now, wait a minute. Now I got to go to Cleveland. Why do I want to go to Cleveland?
Does anybody want to go to Cleveland to start with? Good God.
Other than to see the Indians play or something like that. But other than that,
which has got to be still the most racist logo in sports. The big cartoon smiling Indian with the single feather. Like, wow. And they're pissed about the Redskins? Seriously?
Chief Wahoo.
Good God.
Yeah. Paul Ryan is he's got enough troubles up here without having to go and do that unpleasant work. So, but he did it.
He did it. I think he did it in fine fashion. I don't think
anyone.
He did. Good for him.
Did what he needed to do. That was.
I don't think anybody should say anything negative about how he did it. I think he did it well. And they will, because there are people who are going to say whatever about Paul. They don't like him. They're mad at him. Whatever. But I thought that he did very, very, very professionally, and he smiled through it. And then I think he went home and ate a box of X-Lax so he could finally take a crap. Do you have the chocolate? Do you have any of the chocolate kind? It doesn't really taste like chocolate. It really tastes more like what I think it comes out like. But can I have some? I haven't crapped in a week. You got to help a guy out. And then all he has to look, and all Ryan has to look forward to, Paul, is going back to the district and trying to win that campaign. Because
it's
Paul Nealon, for those of you who are around the country who live under a rock, who haven't been outside in a week, Paul Ryan, the Speaker of the House, is actually being primaried by another Republican named Paul in the 1st District in Wisconsin. Paul Nealon, I believe his name is, and
yes.
And this guy is is formidable. This guy is a very popular person there, business owner, Harley Davidson rider, the whole nine, who's really popular with a lot of folks, who's created a lot of jobs there, rides a Harley, got tattoos, the whole nine, family guy. Really, he's not a talking head. He walks the talk, and he's calling Ryan out on a lot of stuff that has gone on over the past years. Yes, and people in that district are listening.
Yes, because the sentiment at this point is that Paul Ryan has not well served the district.
Well, they feel betrayed. I mean, Paul Ryan came on the scene almost like this libertarian candidate, and has backed well away from all of that. Especially the biggest thing is in recent history is pushing through the omnibus package that funded all of Obama's agenda, after saying that they would stand and fight. He wasn't any better, and maybe even worse than John Boehner. Except John Boehner would have cried the whole time.
Yeah, well, there is that, yes. Well, not only that, but the omnibus, but the funding of the bailout of Puerto Rico, that was approved under his watch. So there's a number of things that he has to be called to account for. But
yes.
That's why he's going to be in a fight, and the folks here are, it's not going to be a cakewalk for him. Unless Nealon stumbles, badly or something, it's, or Ryan does a complete about face on some issues, to some extent. I think we're going to see a new representative, from the 1st District here in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I think that, when you were saying, I was thinking, Paul Ryan would almost have to prank the White House, take a crap in a bag, set it on fire, and put it out in front of the front door, and knock on the door and run, and have it all on Facebook Live. I mean, it would have to be something that drastic to have that turnaround going, shh, I grabbed this bag, knock on the door and run, and have Obama step in it and put it out. I mean, it would have to be something at that level for people to go, Paul, that's the Paul we know and love. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that, or if the Congressional Black Caucus decides to hold a sit-in, on the House floor again,
arrest them all.
Yeah, bring in the sergeant at arms and throw the bums out. That
arrest them all, and then
that has to be perp walk them. Yeah, perp walk them out. Something. There has to be a good visual, like you said, and and substantive, and that there's a substantive one. But hey, go do your job that we elected you to go do.
Yeah, that's crazy that people would actually ask you to do what. First of all, what you said you would do. God, really?
Yeah.
I know I said that, but are you really want me to do that? Yeah, but you don't understand. Yeah, we don't. Yeah, but we don't care.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to understand. Yeah,
yes, you work for me.
I ain't trying to understand. So yeah, just go do it. So that's going to be interesting. So what do you see tonight? You know what? The Trumpster speaks tomorrow night. So after last night, I think the convention is sort of set up for a lull. It doesn't really go back into session until 7:30 your time. Tonight. So I don't even think there's any meetings even today, because when they adjourned last night, Reince Priebus, I'll be glad when he's gone too. Just saying.
Just saying.
But they mentioned that they would restart the convention.
The gavel would
at 7:30 tonight. So I don't even think there's any meetings today. I think the convention goers are going to, of course, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and probably sleeping in because last night was...
Apparently John Kasich had an event at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame yesterday.
Why'd you mention John Kasich? I have never seen a grown-ass man, a bigger crybaby than John. I've never seen. He is the definition of butthurt.
Yeah, there is that. Well, I it's, who knows? I heard that in passing that they had some of the they had some big event, and it was a John Kasich event at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame yesterday. So that was it. Is there anybody of note speaking tonight? I haven't seen or anybody of substance, or is it worth even turning on a live feed to see?
Well, I don't know, but you know what? We have thanks to Al Gore, we do have the internet available to us.
Oh, well, we could look that up, I suppose.
Look at that! Look at that! And of course, the Huffington Post writing, the speakers have spent more time bashing Hillary Clinton than praising Donald Trump. Guess what, Huffington Post? That's what's supposed to happen. That's how it freaking works. Idiots. Let's see. Tonight, Make America First Again is the theme, and I think they've done a fantastic job in the theme thing. I really do. I'm impressed.
If you're given this theme and you can't do it justice, you're in the wrong business.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Let's see. Tonight we have Lynn Patton, Eric Trump. We have the Newtster. I gotta hear the Newtster. Gotta love the Newtster and his wife Callista. Let's see. Of course, the vice presidential candidate, Indiana Governor Mike Pence, tonight. So yeah. And Thursday.
So later, don't tune in at 7:30. Tune in about 10 o'clock or something like that.
Well, yeah. And Thursday, they're really laying low because they
Oh
don't want
no!
to.
Wait a minute! Wait! Isn't Cruz speaking tonight?
I don't see him on the convention GOP site. I'm looking on the convention GOP site.
Oh, because I read something that I thought that Cruz was supposed to speak tonight, and there was a lot of hemming and hawing and consternation about was he going to endorse or not, or was he going to play ball,
Well,
or what he was going to do.
If think about you mentioned and I'd love to hear your opinion about this. If Cruz were to speak and give his full-throated endorsement to Donald Trump, how similar would that be to Bernie Sanders giving his full-throated endorsement to Hillary Clinton?
Oh yeah, exactly. Same cut from the same cloth.
It would seem to be that it would be better, frankly, for both Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz to go back to the Senate and do their work, and say that I'll vote for the party nominee because that's what I believe I should do, and that should be it. I'm not looking for a full-throated endorsement from Marco Rubio or Ted Cruz of Donald Trump. I'm just not looking for that. I'm not even looking for that from John Kasich. But they're having this deal in your state, dude.
Yep.
You're the host. You're like invited people to your house for a dinner party, and then you decided that you would go down to the corner bar while they were at your house and get hammered and get all butthurt. Sorry, that's just tacky. That's tactless. It's tacky.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I know that Governor Scott from Florida is speaking tonight too, I believe. But the headliners are Lynn Patton, Eric Trump, of course the Newtster and his wife Callista, and then Mike Pence. So that should be
all laying the groundwork, especially Newt and Mike Pence both laying the groundwork, and Eric laying the groundwork for tomorrow night's. And is anybody else speaking other than the Donald tomorrow night? I don't think.
Yes, Ivanka, his daughter, Tom Barrack.
Oh, tomorrow will be a big family.
Yeah,
love fest type
Peter
of thing.
Peter Thiel, I guess his name is. Yeah.
Yeah, so, tomorrow will be just here we are, love us, and okay, I'll go home.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I tell you what, though, last night the best moment, best night Monday night was right before Melania's speech when the Donald came out to introduce her, and he was in the silhouette.
Oh yeah, the smoke and the fog machines.
Well, yeah,
and all that sort of stuff.
Mainstream media and especially Black Twitter went crazy and said this is reminiscent of Beyonce, and I thought, bullcrap. You know who this was reminiscent of? Freaking Michael Jackson. Well, Michael Jackson came out at the Motown Awards in the same silhouette and just freaking stood there for 3 minutes while people lost their minds. The only thing that I wanted the Donald to do was just sort of go get in the Superman pose and just stand there. I'd have gone, yes, hell yeah, check you out. You get in the Superman pose and just stand there in the silhouette for like 3 minutes.
And moonwalk his way to the stage, to the podium or something.
That would that's where you go overboard a little bit. It would have been cool, but it would have been too much.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Hey, reality. Who knew reality TV could be so exciting, huh?
Well, reality TV. We talk about this and that, but the president that conservatives continue to exhume from the grave at every turn was a B movie star, and what starred with a monkey.
Yeah, Bonzo.
Yeah, exactly. So, what I don't think if fast forward 50 years or 60 years. I don't think it's that big. I don't think anymore it's that big a stretch. I just don't think it's that big a stretch Let's see here. I'm looking at an extended schedule. Yeah, don't tune in till late because at 7:00. Oh, Laura Ingraham, tonight. That ought to be interesting. She's going to scream and yell. That'll be cool.
Oh yeah,
because that's what. And Pam Bondi from Attorney General of Florida, the absolute hottest Attorney General in the country, by the way. She graduated from a school not far from where I'm sitting, high school. Let's see here. Oh, and Rubio is going to speak tonight, apparently. And Ted Cruz is going to speak tonight, apparently. So that should be interesting.
This will be like congressional committee meetings. Everybody gets 5 minutes, and
well, yeah. So I'm not expecting any full-throated endorsements from either of them, but I'm expecting both of them to turn their guns on Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, especially.
Well,
Ted Cruz.
yeah, and I think both of them will reiterate a call to traditional values and constitutional guidance, if you will. I guess I can't think of it. I think that they're probably going to focus on that to try to go ahead and refocus the party on moving forward, whether they do it or not. But I think, no endorsement, but they'll rally the troops that are there and that were their supporters and apparently they all got, Marco and Ted's folks got stuffed in the back corner of the convention center.
Well, but what was different last night about when they announced the votes, that candidates who did get delegates, those delegates were mentioned. They didn't do that in Tampa, so they did mention that other people who ended up with delegates, even Jeb Bush. Jeb Bush ended up with a grand total of, you ready for this? 3. Even the Alaskans could count.
Yeah.
3.
Only had to take off 3 shoes.
Well, just take off both shoes and leave, and take off one of the mucklucks, I guess, and go.
Yeah.
3. There's no fingers on those hands either. But 3.
And so money doesn't buy you stuff, I guess.
Well, it doesn't buy you if you're a crappy candidate. You know what? And I think
exactly.
I think it was. You know what? And we're sort of gooberish in Florida about our governors. We like our governors, and in Florida, governors travel and shake hands and campaign the whole damn time they're in office. So you feel like you know them in Florida. I don't know about other states. I've not been an adult long enough in another state to figure out how governors do it anywhere else. But in Florida, I know that people end up liking their governors. And I think that people generally like Jeb Bush in a lot of different communities. Even black people who are Democrats like Jeb Bush because a lot of black people got appointed to a lot of state positions on a lot of boards during the Jeb Bush administration here in Florida. So people like him.
Yeah,
but he was
the family. The family has that persona of being likable.
He was a crappy candidate, though.
Even in Texas, they love him, and they do the right thing. They're the last of the old school political families that still love the country, who will do the right thing, who will stand up for the flag and support our veterans and such. They're the last ones, and that endears them to the general public.
That's very true. That is very true. But Jeb Bush was a horrific candidate. Horrific.
Yeah.
It looked like he was just, it looked like Donald Trump early on went and punched him in the nose, and he could just never figure out what to do afterwards. You know what I'm saying? People just and it reminded us. My son, we had a big joke about it. It's what Mike Tyson said. I didn't see him on the list. That would be great if Mike Tyson spoke at the convention. That would be freaking awesome. But when he was asked about, and when people fight him, people, what sort of strategies do they use? And he said, you know what? Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face.
Yeah, that would bring that plan to a point of rethinking.
Well, yeah, but by then it's too late.
Yep.
And especially, with Mike back in the days where he was, where Gus Amato was still alive and he was still controllable. It was too late. Everybody's got a plan to get punched in the face. It looked like
too late for Plan B.
Well, yeah. And Jeb Bush, he had a plan coming out of the gate, and then Trump just punched him square in the face, and this whole campaign just seemed lost afterwards. And it wasn't like he didn't have money. He had plenty of money. Money was not the problem in that campaign, especially early on. He had more money than everybody.
Cohesive message, that was what was lacking.
No, he had nothing. Nothing. A horrific candidate. And I'll tell you what, in Florida, it was like there were a lot of people who were cheering for, there were some people who were like, no more Bushes and that kind of stuff. But there were a lot of people in Florida who were cheering for him. But it's like when you go to a movie and you're really hoping it's going to get better.
Yeah.
Because you like the people in it. You know what? So you're really hoping it, and you sort of bought into the hype, and you're hoping it's going to get better. But you're about 40 minutes in, and it doesn't seem to be getting one iota better. It seems to be getting worse, as a matter of fact.
Yes, there's TV pilots are that way. TV pilots. What was the Marvel movie I watched recently that I couldn't get through, the space one of some sort.
See?
Huh?
See what I'm saying? You're trying.
Yeah,
and
I had to turn it off. I was like, this is not only so stupid, but I don't get it. And it's not getting any better.
Look, I can't do it. I saw Under the Cherry Moon. Do you
I remember the title. Yes.
It was the Prince. It was the second Prince movie. Now, as good as Purple Rain was, Under the Cherry Moon was that bad.
Oh wow.
Was absolutely horrific. And I went and saw it in a movie with a whole bunch of people in college, a whole bunch of black kids in college, and you could tell there was a feeling in the theater that we were really hoping it would be good. Everybody was like, "This is gonna be great," and it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible, and you could just sort of hear people groaning in the movie, and people going to get popcorn and never coming back.
They went home to get popcorn.
Apparently, they went to the Big Star, got some popcorn from the Big Star, and then went home. Yeah. It was just, and with me, even at the Dollar Theater, and because of Mrs. Boyd, who taught my Math Media 2 class in high school, I never walk out of a movie. I always say to the end credits, always, 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 because she told us that's what we're supposed to do. And I watched every agonizing moment and thought, oh my God, this may be indeed the worst movie I've ever seen. And it was really sad because I too wanted it to be really good, and it really wasn't. And this was the Jeb Bush campaign. I was hoping it would be, 2 years ago when Jeb got in, we thought that dude is a freaking lock. It was a bust. He was an absolute bust as a candidate. I was disappointed. I don't think and I don't know whether it was just a lack of cohesive message, or I don't know if his heart was in it. I don't know if he thought that he was the Miami Hurricanes in the 1980s. He was going to walk in there and throw his helmet down on the field, and everybody else was going to fall over, and they didn't. I'm not sure what happened. I'd love to if I could find a way to talk to somebody in the campaign and find out what the postmortem is on that campaign, because my question is, what the hell happened? It seemed like it was going to be good times, but it ended up being a nightmare.
Well, yeah, I mean, you look back to Rick Perry's, back in 2012.
Yes, when he got in the race, people were like, alpha male in the race now, dude. This guy's going to be great. And nothing. But you know what? I see. I think that Rick Perry has an excuse. I found out later. I don't know if you heard the story that Rick Perry during the 2012 campaign was injured and had really, really bad back pain.
Okay, so yeah. Well,
And so when you have that sort of pain and when you're on medication, you get a little foggy. So when you're when Ron Paul at the debate in Orlando asks you which branches, which government agencies would you get rid of first, and you can't remember. You remember that exchange?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that was the beginning of the end.
You could remember that, and
Yeah,
it was the
that was
most
a full
painful
stop.
thing to watch. It was the most painful thing to watch ever. Like, oh dear God, he really got stumped by Ron Paul here in front of everybody. Hardly alpha male-ish.
Yeah,
Here.
that didn't work. But yeah, the same sort of thing. So we'll see. Now we get another day and a half of Cleveland, and then we move east to Philadelphia.
Philadelphia, that's exactly right. And where Black Lives Matter and the new Black Panther Party be on display.
Yep. Yeah, we must note, and I did see a comment from the Cleveland police chief that things have been pretty calm.
2 arrests yesterday, total. Yeah. 2 arrests, which beats us.
That's good.
We had 3 when the convention was here in 2012, but 2 of them were protesters that got into a fight, and I think some of the scuffles there were rival protesting groups that got into fights. So
yeah, so I mean that's been good. There hasn't been the they were saying before the convention there were going to be days of rage and all that sort of stuff showing up, and there certainly hasn't been any outward indication of that going on. So
no.
Will the DNC follow suit or not?
All hell's going to break loose there. You won't. And we're just going to be like mainstream media and keep predicting all hell's going to break loose.
There'll be cheesesteak fights.
Cheesesteak fights everywhere. There'll be cheesesteaks everywhere. People from other places will bring lettuce and tomato, and that'll cause, and then all hell will break loose. Then
That's right. You can't do that, and the streets will run deep in cheese whiz. Yeah.
Cheese whiz. and the cheese whiz will flow. It's gonna be horrible there. But no, I think Cleveland learned a lot from Tampa. They spent a lot of time here, and I tell you what, I've never felt safer in my hometown than I did during the convention. I've never saw so many military people with real live assault rifles, because they're allowed to have them, in my life. And I tell you what, I kept my credentials around my neck the whole time. I wanted to make sure everybody saw that I was supposed to be where I was going to be.
You slept with them and everything.
Oh, I did. I wanted to make sure that I never got down there without them. So it was great.
That's good.
Maybe next time we'll try it again. All right, listen, we've been doing this for an hour and 3 minutes. I know you got to go, and I know I got to get out of here. Listen, hopefully we can do this again before the end of the week. What's today? Today is Wednesday.
Yep. But we ought to do a recap and bring this week to a close, and then not that we're looking forward to, but
we're not looking forward to next week.
I guess we're looking forward to, like, those who would go to a NASCAR race or maybe go down to the local train tracks. We're looking for that big wreck. We're looking for that big train wreck.
Well, I am, and frankly, I am. I don't feel bad about it. Yes, I'm looking for the Democratic convention to be a major league train wreck. You know what? Girl is in Tampa today at the fairgrounds, and there's scuttle that she might announce her running mate. I think her running mate is going to be someone like Tim Kaine. Anybody else is going to be a cluster.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's going to be.
Well, and what her drama.
Yeah, there's some. I saw something, and we can talk about that next week. That there's there is a problem with one of her potential VP picks as far as, what was it, Hatch Act or something that he had violated?
Yes. So what?
Yeah. So
is that a problem for her? Not for her. She's like,
of course not.
So what? So what? What does it matter now? What does it matter now?
That's right. That's right. That's right. Well, yes. But yeah, let's we'll put a bookmark in this one. We'll wrap the week up, and then we'll be back to pontificate over next week's shenanigans in Philadelphia.
We will do just that.
And
so those of you who are listening,
as we tell everybody, hey, look down in the comments, like, share, do what you can as this goes up on YouTube and Spreaker and all the other usual suspect places. We certainly appreciate it.
We do. Thank you so much for listening in. Thank you for sharing with your friends, because here's the deal: if you like it, your friends will like it. So you'd be kind of a jerk not to share with them. It's like bringing enough. Did you bring enough for everybody? You remember that?
That's right.
And now you can say you did. Paul, thanks for spending some time. It's always good. And we'll talk to you again this week.
All right, Willie. Thanks,
Take
everybody.
care,
we'll talk to you all soon.
Bye-bye now.